I'm here to do an anti-haul number 4. Now, I did do my last anti-haul video very recently, but in the past week, there have been a lot of products that's been released by a lot of influential people here on social media. So I had to come here and share my thoughts on them as to, and if you didn't know what anti-haul video is, I just come up with a list of products that I won't be buying and give you a reasoning behind it in an effort to convince you not to buy them as well. So yeah, I don't have a lot of products. Actually, I just have 4 of them. So let's just jump right into it. Now, first of all, let's start with the biggest explosion on internet. The Jaclyn Hill Morphe brushes eyeshadow palette. Jaclyn Hill, if you didn't know, she collaborated with Morphe brush for the second time, and she came out with a 35 pan eyeshadow palette. If you didn't know, Morphe brushes has like 35 pan eyeshadow palettes, and they usually retail for $22, I think, but these retail for $38. Now I understand this is a collaboration, so a portion of the money she will get paid for this. So so there's that. So but this price jump, I feel it's a lot. Now, this is before tax and shipping. So I live in the US, so for me it would definitely come somewhere close to $50. Now if you live outside US, I think the shipping is like $20-30, so it would be outrageous. So that's one of the main reasons. And another reason is, let's first deal with Morphe separately and then Jaclyn Hill. Morphe brushes as a brand. First of all, I feel their eyeshadows are very average and less than average. Now I haven't tried their eyeshadow palettes like to start with. I haven't tried them, but I have seen a lot of trustworthy reviews on social media which say that they are average. You have average shadows and then they are below average shadows. They don't have like a good or best kind of eyeshadows, no. And here is a short description on Morphe's website, on the product page of this product. It says that this palette is a 2-year love affair, and then this is a 35 brand new OMG eyeshadows that Jaclyn whipped up and formulated, tested, retested, and perfected. Now, first of all, this 2-year love affair. Now, from a business perspective, 2 years is not a long term at all, guys. Anything 5 years and less is considered short term from a business perspective. That's how businesses work. More than 5 years is considered long term, but 2 years is actually short term. Now I understand when Jaclyn says that 2 years is a long term because she's an individual, she's not a business entity. So taking 2 years of her life, I mean not entire 2 years obviously, just parts, bits and pieces of her 2 years of her life, for her dedicating it towards this palette is, I would say, quite something. But for Morphe to say something like that and like really blow it up, it's just marketing, it's just promotion. Don't fall for it. Now, second thing, they say that Jaclyn whipped up and formulated this eyeshadow palette, which is a completely false statement. Now, I did check. If you remember, Morphe has these 2 palettes called Copper Spice and Bronzed Mocha. Now the ingredients list on these 2 palettes are exactly identical to the ingredients list on Jaclyn Hill's palette, with the exception of just one new ingredient in Jaclyn Hill's palette, which is kaolin. So that's the only difference. They are identical, guys. Now the rest of the 28 pan eyeshadow 35 eyeshadow palettes, which is the 35O, which is very popular. Those ingredients are like completely different from this Jaclyn Hill's 35 pan eyeshadow palette. The regular 35 eyeshadow palettes ingredients list are different from Jaclyn Hill's 35 pan eyeshadow palette. I did check it and they are different. But this Copper Spice and Bronze Smoke eyeshadow palettes, they are not 35 pan eyeshadow palettes, they are 25 pans. They are the square pans, so they are actually identical to Jaclyn Hill's with the exception of one ingredient. Jaclyn Hill's palette has like an extra ingredient, kaolin. That's the only difference. So Jaclyn Hill like went into the lab and she researched and she discovered that kaolin would actually bring about a miracle, and she added that in the ingredients list. I don't think so. I don't believe it. It's false. I think formulation, I think from Morphe takes care of formulation. So that's Morphe. I feel that they're just, I feel Morphe is not a style over substance brand because the packaging is very, very, very just nothing, very plain. And substance wise, and at the same time, they're not a substance over style kind of a brand either because, like I said, their eyeshadows are very average and below average eyeshadows. You know what I mean? So they are neither a style over substance brand, nor are they a substance over style kind of brand. They're just brand. I feel that they just sell the products solely based on hype. They have the brand ambassadors. Jaclyn is the biggest of them, and there are also a lot of them. I'm not blaming her. She's associated with the brand. She definitely uses some amount of product from Morphe, brushes, eyeshadow, something or the other she does use. So they have brand ambassadors, and the only reason I feel Morphe sells their products is through hype. Just hype on social media, and just people fall for it and they just buy. So for Jaclyn Hill, that's my assessment of Morphe brushes. So for Jaclyn Hill to associate herself with Morphe brushes for the second time, I feel, look, she's not a child. She knows that. I'm definitely sure well, I'm not definitely sure. Either Morphe brushes is taking Jaclyn for a ride with like like a perception, giving like painting a picture that their products are beautiful, but that contradicts with the fact that she herself involved herself so much with this particular product. So she's not a child. She knows that the formulation is very average and less than average kind of formulation. But the reason I think she associated herself with the brand is because being such a small company, Morphe, I think they would be the only company who would give her like the freedom and the liberty to take as much time that she wants, and to like go in and like choose shades and colors that she likes. So I think that's probably why she went, and definitely a higher pay cut because Morphe is definitely a smaller brand. So for them to have Jaclyn Hill, like a superstar such as Jaclyn Hill, to be associated with them, that's a big thing for them. And like I said, Morphe relies so much on hype. So if Jaclyn Hill is associated with them, the hype is definitely huge. So they will definitely end up making a lot of money. Now, this is my assessment that Jaclyn definitely knows this is an average, below average palette, and she is hyping it up for sure. And Morphe feeds off of the hype. That's how they actually sell their palettes. That's my assessment of these two people. Now let's push Jaclyn and Morphe aside, and let's just look at the palette. Let's just look at the palette like objectively. Now I don't think the palette has boring colors. I actually love the colors, but there are 35 pans, so there has to be some kind of repetition. So I feel that there are a lot of repetition. It's quite redundant, but they have to fill 35 pans, right? There's no other go. So they are definitely there is a lot of repetition in the shade selection. True. Now when I saw the swatches on Jaclyn's a video when she introduced the palette, the mattes definitely were kind of rich in pigment, yes, but the metallics were nowhere close to all those Snapchat what's it called, the screenshots, the Snapchat screenshots that I saw on Instagram. They looked very foiled and very ultra metallic, but in real life, swatching, when I saw it on her video, they were nowhere close to that foiled metallic effect at all. They were shimmery shadows, but they were just normal shimmery shadows that you would find everywhere in a drugstore or even at Sephora. I'm not saying that those kind of normal shimmery shadows are bad as long as they are well pigmented, but I saw a lot of reviews online that the shimmers were not good at all. But let's get to that. Now, Jaclyn must be having the state-of-the-art lighting and like the best camera and everything. So if swatches on her video is not impressive, at least to me, I don't think swatches in person, when I pick up the palette and swatch it, I don't think it's going to be good at all. I'm 100% sure I will be disappointed, and you will be disappointed too, I'm sure. But let's ignore that as well. Now, if you are someone, you can say, you know, I'm not looking for like very ultra foiled metallics. I'm just looking for soft shimmers, just normal metallics, and I really like Jaclyn. And I don't, and like, let's assume that like you're a beginner and you don't know much about makeup. You can say, you know, Jaclyn seems to know what she's doing, so maybe I should like choose her selection of colors. Like her eyeshadow looks, her tutorials are so beautiful, so maybe why shouldn't I pick up this palette? I have an answer for you guys for that as well. Now, if you're really into Jaclyn's style and her eyeshadow looks, still there's a solution to get all of these eyeshadows, but by not buying this palette, this $38 palette. Now, if you go to Jaclyn Hill's YouTube channel, she has a video where she has like favorite single eyeshadows. Again, I usually emphasize this in my anti-hauls. That's the way to go, guys. If you're really interested in like building a palette that you truly love, even if you are a neutral lover, if you take a look at that video, that palette that she shows in that favorite single eyeshadows, there is not single one of Morphe's eyeshadows in that palette. I did go in and check. I watched the entire video. That single eyeshadow palette that she has, that she created for herself in a Z palette, has mostly Anastasia Beverly Hills, Makeup Geek, and MAC. These are the three eyeshadows, and this palette that she has created with Morphe looks very similar to that palette. So if you're really interested, go check out that video and just handpick shades that you might really like. Go to, just mentally choose those shades and go to the store and check out those MAC shadows. Of course, Makeup Geek, you have tons of swatches and reviews of Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and Anastasia Beverly Hills, you can check them out at Sephora and Macy's and all the department stores. So these shadows that she showed in that favorite single eyeshadows are very accessible and very easily available, where you can swatch them and actually see. And there are tons of videos on these eyeshadows, all the singles that she did, and they are also from reliable brands where you can also return products. Not Makeup Geek, but MAC and Anastasia Beverly Hills. If you buy them and if you didn't like them, you can return them. So I would highly, if you are someone who loves Jaclyn Hill's style and who loves and you want to look like Jaclyn Hill, meaning not facially but just the eye makeup and all those makeup wise, if you want to look like the way she does, you know, the eyeshadow look, that warm coppery look, warm bronzy look, smoky bronzy look, the kind of looks that she does, if you really want to achieve that, just watch that favorite single eyeshadow and pick the shades that you like, instead of just spending so much on one eyeshadow palette. And frankly, I saw the metallics, from what I heard, they are not good. And personally for me, just the fact that they are lying about for new formulation, that this is brand new and never been seen before. That's what she said, I think. Never been seen before. I don't know. I don't know why they would just mislead people on facts that can be so easily verified. These are the exact same ingredients list on Copper Spice and Bronzed Mocha. They are like smaller palettes though. They are 25 pan eyeshadow palettes, not 35. They're 25 and they retail for $17.99. So yeah. Anyways, let's put Jaclyn Hill's palette to rest and let's move on. I've spoken about it for a very long time. Second, number 2 on the list is Kat Von D's Lolita Eyeshadow Blush Compact. You know that it's just an eyeshadow single, which is in the shade Lolita. Now Lolita is I think a very popular liquid lipstick by Kat Von D, in this like a dusty rose. Now, first of all, that shade, I don't think it complements my skin tone, because I cannot use that liquid lipstick without a lip liner, and I do not like to use lip liners. I don't have anything against lip liners, but I just like to use lipsticks that effortlessly flatter me. I don't want to go in and manipulate the shade to flatter my skin tone. I just like to pick and choose shades that I can just apply and just leave it at that. I don't want to like tinkering. No, I don't like to do that. So Lolita is not a shade that flatters my skin tone. So anything that follows suit that particular shade in terms of lip liner or lipstick or blush and eyeshadow, I don't think I'm interested. So personally for me, I heard that the formulation is good, it's really nice, but for me the shade doesn't work. So yeah, that's why I won't be buying it. And this retails for $19, and it can be used as an eyeshadow and blush, which sounds good, but I think a lot of eyeshadows can be used as blush. I do that. I use my Vizier eyeshadow palettes. I use the blush tone shades as blush, and they work beautifully. So that's just something to consider. Eyeshadows can be used as blush as well. Next, Jouer is coming out with lip glosses. Now, Jouer's lip glosses seemed really nice. When I saw the swatches, they were pigmented, they were very glossy, but my problem is, from the swatch, what I think is, they are very, very similar to the Anastasia lip glosses, which are, now I have the Anastasia lip glosses, they are opaque pigmented. Opaque coverage. They are super pigmented and they are very, very glossy, and the cream finish lip glosses from Anastasia is very, very pillowy and cushiony, and they are very, very smooth and very comfortable to wear. But they do bleed. I have to give you that. They do bleed, but they are very, very comfortable to wear. And when I saw the Jouer's lip gloss swatches, they looked very similar to the Anastasia lip glosses, the cream glosses. And I think all of the Jouer's lip glosses are all cream glosses. They do not have shimmers or anything. I think all of them like have a cream finish. Now, my only problem is I do have something similar at home, the Anastasia lip glosses, and I never reach for them, guys. So I don't see why I would reach for these. I don't see why, because they would just look like they are in different packaging, but they are very similar products in my mind. So for me, Jouer lip glosses is a no, and they retail for $17. I think Anastasia Beverly Hills glosses also retail something $18, I think. So if you're really interested in glosses of that sort, creamy, full-on opaque lip glosses with cream finishes, I think I seriously suggest you consider Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think it's only $1 more than the Jouer's lip glosses, and they are very accessible, and if you don't like them, you can return them. So buy them at Sephora or any other department store. I think Macy's carries Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I feel, I don't know that for a fact, don't think that way, but the swatches, I think they're very similar to Anastasia Beverly Hills glosses. Now finally, my favorite brand, well, favorite brand in the sense, I love their highlighters. That's why I said favorite brand. The highlighters that I have, the LimeCrime is coming out with a mermaid collection, just like every brand now coming out with a mermaid collection. Now, one thing I really appreciate about LimeCrime is that they openly, and everywhere they can declare this, they have declared this. This meaning that this collection on the whole is a very sparkly, glitter, glowy collection. They have never stated anywhere that this is like no chunky glitter, very beautiful sheen or something like that. Wherever if you go onto LimeCrime's website and click on to this mermaid collection, wherever you see even the model in the highlight, you can actually see big, large sized glitters just sitting on top of a cheekbone. So they have very publicly like advertised that this is like a very glitter. Actually, I think the name of that highlighter palette by LimeCrime is called Glitter and Glow. I think they have the highlight opals, which is beautiful, absolutely amazing, which beautiful no chunky glitter highlighter palette. And then they also have the Blossoms palette, which is also beautiful, same formulation, no chunky glitter. But here specifically, even when I saw the promos, they had specifically written sparkly green, sparkly ivory, sparkly lavender. So even initially I was doubtful, because I went and checked the other eyeshadow palettes description, shade description, and they had never once mentioned the word sparkly or glittery, but in this they had mentioned the word sparkly in every shade description. So I was doubtful, and my doubts were true. All three have glitters in them, and I have to say that I did not like the shade selection as well, because lavender is actually present in both the Hi-Lite Opals palette and the Blossoms palette, and I feel they could have done something better, again including a lavender shade in the Hi-Lite Mermaid Glitter and Glow palette. It's very redundant and repetitive, I feel. And they also have this ivory shade, which is very light, and LimeCrime being a powder formulation, the LimeCrime highlighters have powder formulation. So if you have a powder highlighter and if it's very light, it will leave a white cast on your skin tone. So I'm not sure how darker skin tones would be able to carry an ivory shade with a powder formulation on their skin tone without leaving a white cast. So yeah, one reason is sparkly and it has chunky glitter, and of course they have advertised it everywhere, so that way they actually educate the consumer really well. That's one of the main reasons. And also they also have, I think, brushes, makeup brushes, with the handle part of the makeup brushes, they have this water in it, actual water, so when you move the brushes you can see the water moving in, which looks very pretty. Definitely they do look really nice. And then they also have that lipsticks, liquid lipstick called Velveteens. They do have 3 shades which are completely unwearable shades, at least for me. They have a baby blue, then they have like a purple, very pastel purple and lavender, and then they have like a very coral, pinky coral shade. All of them are very flashy and very beaming, extreme. They are like highlighters for your lips. So on the whole, I feel this collection is more like stage makeup, not like real life makeup, because when I saw the model wearing all of these shades, it looked like she was on a stage in a play, like enacting in a play, like she's an actor in a play, because they're highlighted. She had glitter sitting here beautifully, not randomly, it was beautifully placed here, and then she had beautiful highlighted lips. So I feel the entire collection is more like stage makeup and not like real life makeup, practical makeup. But if you're really into it, I would suggest go ahead and pick it up. So yeah, that's my very long anti-haul video on just 4 products. Hope you guys, thank you so much for being so patient if you watched the entire video, and please give this video a thumbs up if you liked watching it, and please subscribe. Bye.